Well, welcome back. This is the fourth of 7 videos looking at what are project management process groups and knowledge areas. And what we're going to do during this particular video is we're going to dig into 2 more of the knowledge areas. We'll start off by looking briefly at human resource management, and then we'll spend a little bit more time talking about communications management. So let's get right to it. Human resource management is going to be one of those 10 knowledge areas. You're going to look at 2 big components there, the first of which is, who is on your team, what's going to be that structure of that team, where do you pull these members from, and then the second component's looking at the skills and competencies associated with that particular team. And just like the other knowledge areas, this is something that we're going to spend a good bit more time on later on in the course, but do want you to be aware that human resource management is one of those 10 knowledge areas, and that it's got a couple of components to it tied to the project team and developing skills and competencies. Communications management is going to be critical as well. Another one of those 10 knowledge areas. It really tries to address 3 questions. Who are the project stakeholders? What do they need to know? And how should those needs be met? When you look at the communications process itself, it's this idea of passing information and understanding from one person to another, from one person actually to a group. And it's got a couple of components to it that gotten a little bit of a chart here. This idea of generating an idea, encoding it, transmitting it, decoding it, and then checking the meaning. And hopefully there's a feedback loop that leads to additional ideas or additional communications. Now, of course, the problem is each of these can be corrupted or can be misperceived. All right, so you can generate an idea and code it the wrong way. When you transmit it, it's misunderstood or it's decoded to have a different meaning. And then when a check occurs of that meaning, there's confusion, which generates feedback, and then away we go on and on and on. And depending on the mode of the communication, there may be lots and lots of opportunities for people to read something into it or to color the message a certain way based on perceptions that may or may not be true. Again, as you start to think about this written, electronic, one-to-one, the challenges that you may have. Again, when you start working on large projects, and if it's multiple locations, you're going to have challenges associated with communications. Personally, if I'm in the same building, I tend to try to, instead of sending email, go see people to make sure that they can understand. And it's worthwhile as you're building these messages, and communication means that you stop and think about how is this going to be perceived. Is there a cultural filter that's going to be applied? Is there a company cultural issue that may apply here or within a division? So it's always worthwhile to be very careful in terms of constructing these messages and making sure that you're communicating them appropriately. And then finally, that project manager plays such a critical role in this entire process because he's, the hub by which all of this information passes, and he has this opportunity to shape that message, build good teams, and to move the project forward. But at the same time, you have to a certain extent a single point of failure here, and the project manager can do great damage to the project if the communications is not right. Well, look at that. We're already at the end yet again. So again, this is the 4th of 7 videos looking at those process groups and knowledge areas. During this video, we looked at 2 knowledge areas. We looked at human resources briefly, and then we looked at the communications area. What we're going to do during the next video is move in and have a rather detailed conversation about risk. So keep on studying, keep on learning, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.